they're so like the women here are like almost gross about it. I'm gonna go and say this might be controversial, but they're like gross about how much like they expect the man that they haven't even met yet to pay for them.
And we are live again with another episode of Modern Success. We are joined again, back then it was Modern Flirting, not Modern Success, but again by the lovely Jamie Date. Welcome, Jamie. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not as good as you. I don't got my wine drunk going on, but
Yeah.
she was earlier showing me the it's none of my business.
Oh yeah.
You're all bougie now.
I'm so bougie. Well, you
So
know what's
bougie.
funny is right now I'm at my parents' house and my mom and my sister drink so much wine and I usually
Mhm.
never drink during the week, but my dad comes home and then my mom's like, "Would you like a glass of wine?" It's so hard to pass up, right? When your mom shuffles in with a
Yeah,
glass of wine.
I think the big lesson for everybody looking is how key, even at our level, no matter how successful you get, no matter how good you are doing life, dating, money, whatever, environment plays such a factor.
Yeah.
Like,
Super. Super. And actually I was thinking about this too, because it's like, I would love to get your thoughts on this.
well, this
I'd
is the
love
perfect place to do it. This is
I
it.
know,
This is where we
right?
do it.
I think about this all the time. I think about you know, how much of it is it you turning on when you're at a location or a venue, or is it a venue that you actually feel invigorated by? So like for example, like me at a nightclub, ugh,
Right.
it takes a lot. But me at a music festival, I'm like on crack cocaine but sober. Like I love every minute of it. I'm bouncing around, I'm talking to everybody. I'm basically Cosmo at a nightclub, but Jamie at a music festival, same person. And
I gotta
so,
go to a music festival with you. I still have yet to see you. If I'm worried that you're gonna be like, "We're going to 6 a.m." I'm like, "What is happening right now?"
oh, I got the things that'll make you
Oh
stay
my
up.
god!
Don't even
Oh
worry
god!
about it.
Coffee, lots of coffee.
Lots
Yes,
of coffee, obviously.
lots of
Yes.
coffee. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So, all right. So that's a good. I'm going to ask you a question. I was just talking to Cosmo in the previous episode. We're going to act like these episodes are all over the place versus I'm wearing the same shirt on the same day, but it's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I should probably change the shirt when I'm doing these. But
How
I'm
long
gonna
have
ask
you
you
worn that shirt, Jared?
it's been months. um, but so note to future Jared. But I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Cosmo, and that is this: he's turning 40. And what is your suggestion or what is your advice to guys who are 40 plus? They're sick of the bar scene, they're sick of the club scene, but that just seems like the only fucking place to meet women, right? Other than these online dating. So, other than online, and I know you're the queen of the online dating realm, I get it. But outside of online dating,
Hmm.
where should guys, I'm not going to call them old, we'll say more mature, that's a better word for it, mature men, where do they even meet women in the first place?
So, I mean, this first one is obviously going to be very hard because not a lot of guys can just pick up and leave. But actually, I know you and I have talked about this. If you are not tied to a town,
Yeah.
move,
Yep.
right? So many people, they're like, well, my job's here. Do you love your job? Are you passionate? Do make lots of money, have lots of opportunity? Well, no, it's just a dead end. Then what's the allegiance? Move, right? Because if happiness is the goal and relationships buy us happiness, why are we not positioning our lifestyle to be centered around the thing that brings us healthy and happy relationships? So I say all of that to say Jupiter, Florida is a great place for older, I say older, I'm 33. So for my 40 plus. Like
Right.
I feel like I'm too young here. Actually, it's weird. In Jupiter, Florida, I almost feel, or Palm Beach, I almost feel like I'm in this like weird middle, like purgatory, where everyone that's out is either like 22 or 55. And
It's
there's
Delta and Del
no,
Rey. If you ever go to Atlantic Ave, I went to Tin Roof every time. I just the only you know me. I've been to like every club in the fucking country in the world.
in the
Honestly,
world.
just because of
Correct.
what I do, just because boot camps, whatever.
You could
Vegas, literally, I've been all over Hong Kong, like the nightlife. I've done nightlife everywhere, London, you name it.
Right.
Tin Roof Del Rey is the weirdest fucking venue because I feel like you. I feel sometimes like too old and too young at the same
Right.
time. Everyone's like college age or like 50 plus. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like, what is
It's
the theme
because, you
here?
know why? It's because everyone our age is married with kids.
And
1000%.
then, so they're just waiting for the divorce to get back to the 50 plus. Jesus, that's all right.
I know, so sad, right? Um, or, of course not. All marriages end, happily ever after, of course. But yeah, I think about this a lot, and I will say, I also have lived places. So Valencia, Spain, I'm not saying obviously pick up and move to Spain, but just something I've noticed and other things that I've seen in other cultures do. I'm maybe manifesting this to come here. But in Valencia, Spain, a lot of like 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds go out, like a lot of them, but it's not about the alcohol. I think that's the other thing too. I think what needs to change is the bar scene and they have to do like a rebranding because I feel like alcohol is on this way out almost.
Yeah.
And
Especially amongst very successful people. And all my entrepreneur masterminds and my groups, it's almost like a bad thing. It's not almost. It's seen as like alcohol. That's not a healthy lifestyle. Like use a Phenibut or whatever the hell these nootropics, and it's like, yeah. So it's kind of becoming like low status alcohol in a weird way.
yeah, really. And and actually so I started doing the microdosing on psilocybin and that's been I've actually, and it's funny because this is like so not me. Usually I'm just happy to be at my parents' house right now. And my mother is a bad influence. But
Can I make Jamie's
yeah,
mom?
no, I know. But I've been doing the microdosing on psilocybin, and it's just like I connect with people easier. I don't feel like shitty. Although to be honest with you, I never really got hangovers anyway. I'm very lucky like that.
Very lucky,
Um,
Jesus.
but I know. But when it comes, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like but having said that though, and actually shameless plug I have to do because it happened to come up. Um, in LA, they're doing this conference that I got invited to speak to called Make Call, December 16th and 17th. Buy tickets. And it's supposed to be about like it's a singles event and it's supposed to be like for intentional singles. It's supposed to be for intentional like people who want to get together, but just like you said, don't like want to meet people not at a bar and a club. Like I think that what's happening right now is we're in a transition period, and this is just me with hope speaking, but we're in a transition period where it's like there is starting to become more of a need and need equal market in capitalistic society, right? So a market of where can we go that's not bar club.
Well, do you even feel, I mean, here, let's get a little controversial on this and get your take on it. Do you feel there really is intentional dating anymore, or are we perpetually stuck in a hookup culture?
So I think this is actually what I'm talking about at the conference. It's bridging the gap between casual dating and intentional dating. And you know what I almost what's it called refer to it as or align it with is what we talk about with funnels.
Right.
What is a funnel unless starting very wide? And what is casual dating? Casual dating is a very wide net, very shallow depth,
It's
right?
almost like you're talking about like a dating funnel. Interesting.
Funnel. I know,
That
wild,
term
right?
sounds so familiar. Yeah, interesting, interesting.
So familiar.
Oh,
But as you go down, you become more intentional. And that's where
mhm.
I think excellent resources like the relationship trait spreadsheet, like to think to laugh to lust, like understanding what you want. Do you even want a relationship? What that actually even means? Because I think another and also I'd love to get your thoughts on this too. Another thing that I see a lot of men that I speak to, they very quickly they've had very little experience with women, and they're just like, I want a girlfriend, and I almost want to be like, do you want a girlfriend just so you don't have to try? Like, it's like the easy ticket? Because if anything, it's almost like having a relationship is the same hard. Like it's just hard for a different reason. It's
Right.
challenging for a different reason. Fulfilling, yes, but there are also
I mean,
consequences.
grass is always green on the other side. There's a funny ass reel I saw, which is like so true. It's like you see this lonely guy playing video games, going, "I want a girlfriend," and then fast forward, you see him with a girlfriend, being like, "I want to play video games." Like
Right?
it's always greener on the other side, and being in a relationship is not always easy. It is very rewarding, I will say, the right relationship.
Right.
is very rewarding. But I think the problem is a lot of guys look at getting, so this is the, I think the mind fuck, or at least for me going through it before I found my perfect girl. And the mind fuck is they look at getting the girl as hard, as work, as drudgery, as I like. And even women, I feel like women do the same thing. It's like, who wants a boyfriend or who wants a girlfriend? Me. Who wants to go out and talk to the opposite sex and go on dates? And no, I don't. Who wants to leave the house and actually go? But for me, maybe because I was blessed learning this stuff young, it was always fun. Like before, I didn't get into it going, I want a girlfriend. I came into this when I old 17 years ago, old me, 20 years old me, going, I want a superpower where I can just go up and talk to any girl and make them laugh. And like, this was amazing. I still to this day, this is what hooked me on Game or Riz or social, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Whatever the kids are calling it today.
Yeah, we'll call the Resonator. Or whatever. To this day, this is what hooked me. This is what got me like, oh my God. It was never... Don't get me wrong. I wanted a girlfriend. And don't get me wrong. I was very lonely. And I wanted to not be lonely. And all these things that I hear people say when it come to modern success. And, I was talking to a guy today, actually. Yesterday. And I was on a call with him. And he's like, I go, why do you want to join Modern Success? And he goes, so I don't have another lonely Christmas. Because Christmas is, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Feels, dude.
Right? Yeah, like him in the field. But I'm like, and while I relate and I can empathize with all of it, that's not what got me hooked. For me personally, what got me hooked was 20-year-old Jared was at a cancer walkathon, only knowing a couple of routines and lines I read out of a book. And my friend introduces me to this girl, Michelle. And he's like, do something from the book on Michelle. And I'm like, all right, I'll try. And I did the cube. And obviously, you know what the cube is. And I ran the cube on Michelle, the first routine I ever learned. And for the first time in my life, as a guy who got no attention from women, never was popular, big nerd, like everything. I got Iron Man in the background, like big nerd. For the first time in my life, I got to experience what it was like to have a woman, or a girl, I mean, she was a girl, she was like 20 or 19, but a girl hanging on my every word. She was intrigued, enthralled. She was looking at me. At first time I saw the girl with the big wide eyes going, oh my God, tell me more, and was so impressed by me that she ran and got one of her other friends to be like, do it on her. And I didn't know what a dancing monkey was at the time, but she's like, do it on her. I'm like, okay. And I did on her friend, and the friend's amazed. And next thing I know, I'm sitting in the grass. I've got 5 women sitting around me watching me cube, every single one of them, hanging on my every word. And my buddy John's looking at me like, what the hell is going on? And that feeling was heroin. I was just like, I need this all night, every time. What the hell? This is a superpower. It was amazing. And that fueled me. And thank God I got that little taste of success early on, because if it was just what a lot of guys go through, just straight up rejection, which I got a lot of later on. I got rejected a lot and again and again and again. But if I probably got that first night, I may have never went through with it. But because I had that taste, I was like, I am hooked. I will do whatever I can to get this again and again. And the reason I bring that up is because when you attack this problem from there, where you love the journey, there was no outcome. I wasn't trying to sleep with the girl. I wasn't trying to have sex with the girl. There was no outcome. There was no thing I wanted in my head of like what I was trying to do. I just loved doing the thing. I loved the interaction itself, the vibing itself. That was what was amazing to me.
And that's where you and I are so similar, because like, as you were saying before, like, I'm sure lots of women are like, oh, who wants to talk to the other sex? No one, right? Especially nowadays, we live in such a male bashing culture, I've come to realize. But anyway, I feel like, I know I really realized. Anyway, on what I used to say, like, Jamie Date has never had a bad date, which is true. I might not have always loved all of the guys, but I actually love, and this just goes back to our love for people. Like, I love interacting with people. I love making people laugh. I love having a good time. Like, I love bringing out the best sides in people. Like, that is heroin to me, And so, if anything, it goes back to frame. Like, our frame, our worldview is, I see the good in people. I want to bring the best sides out in people. And seeing the world through that lens makes everything so much easier.
I also think it's the right lens for any amazing coach. I think that's
Right.
something about all great coaches. Like, we see the best in people, we want to get the best out of them, and I think that's what makes you an amazing coach at the end of the
Thank
day.
you.
What
Yeah.
let's go. I want to go back to what you said earlier, and I want to like pinpoint this because this is an interesting. And you have you being you, I think you can bring some insight that I can't get out of Cosmo or other coaches and guests that I bring on, successful men. Talking to you as a female dating coach.
I speak for all women, yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's basically what I'm getting at. I need you to represent women here.
Yeah, thanks.
What's going on with the male bashing? Why are the women hating on the men? What is feeding this? Because on the men's side, we got the incels, the MGTOWs, the red pills, the black pills. We got all these men giving up, the passport bros. So why are women just being crazy harsh to men? Are women to blame? Are women actually like being mean here? Or if so, why? Or are men seeing something, or men not seeing something? Can you bridge this gap or explain this?
Yeah, so I think what's happening is just a counterbalance of what's been happening for years and centuries against women, right? So I think this is just like, with so many people in politics, they say the reason why Trump happened is because of Obama. The reason why this male bashing society that we live in is because how long were women brushed aside, put down, objectified, you have to be this, you have to look like this, you have to do that, you know what I mean? Or you're nothing, right? So I think what's happening is we just unfortunately have to let this kind of run its course, but something's going to change. And and of course, maybe this is just me being optimistic, but I really think that men and women are starting to wake up and realizing that we are so much better off on the same team.
Right.
And also maybe not even on the same team because, it's too hard because, not everyone's going to love everyone else, but realizing that you and I, as a man and a woman, right, are more similar than all men and all versus all women. I think that that's really going to change. Like our personal experiences really we can resonate and relate to versus all women can relate to this and all men can relate to this. Like I feel like that the individual connection is going to save us. But I think with, the internet and social media and memes and this culture right now, it's very hard. It's very hard because I mean it's funny. It's like as soon as well now a lot of people know what I do, but when I first started,
Right.
As a dating coach for men, so many of my girlfriends are like, oh my God, you're a dating coach for men, and they just start sending me like these male bashing memes, like men are stupid, men are this, da 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 da. And it's so funny because being a female dating coach for men, I have the rare opportunity to see a side of men that make the, often male bashing culture that we live in today would change their tune. I every day get to see men going inward and changing and growing and like wanting to become the best versions of themselves.
How do women think about those? Do women even understand men are doing this? Do they see that side of men at all?
Oh,
or
no.
what is the perspective? Like okay, so talk the men. I'm assuming most of the listeners right now are men, obviously, right? So tell us the insight into what's going on around women talk when men are just not there. How are men viewed? What are they saying? How do they view us? Like what's going? Give me the women's locker room talk.
I feel like men fall into one of two categories. Actually, you know what's so funny? I really feel like this is exactly how men used to talk about women not so long ago. Men have fallen into one of two categories, either fucking idiots or players. And just like men, either they're fucking bimbos or they're sluts.
Right.
Like, it's like, so it's literally, it's repetition. Like, I feel like after a while, like everything's cyclical, so I think
let me get this right. So if they come off, do anything wrong, they're idiots, right? So if anything's not meshing well, the chemistry's not there, the whatever's not there, men are doing it there. It's like men are classified as idiots from the most women. But if they do things right and they're smooth and they're good with the girl, he's a player. Either way, danger.
Yeah, because constantly I see like on Facebook, I'm part of those Are We Dating the Same Men groups,
Right.
and I actually ended up having to leave so many of them because I almost got banned from
I'm
one of them.
so blessed, by the way, on that. A real story.
I know you are because you're a good guy. Jared's a good guy.
I was actually no. This is a real. It's a men bashing female group. What's it called again, Jamie? It's
Are we dating the same guy? It's not always male bashing, but 99% of it
sure.
is.
Okay. All right. So sorry. 99% of it. Are we dating the same guy? And it's by city. And I didn't know this exists. Men usually don't know this exists, but this exists in your city. And the girl I was dating goes, "Hey, does anybody have any information on his shower guy?" And then because I have female friends, which every guy really should have, my
Oh,
female
the secret
friends,
code.
they started letting me know. Yeah, the social circle. They started letting me know, like, hey, you're on his site. And they started praising me, saying, no, he's a great guy, da da da, dated him, blah, blah, blah. I had one girl, it's so funny that I had one girl say something bad. There was only one negative comment against me. And when I asked to look at it from one of my female friends, she showed it to me. It was a girl I didn't call again for a second date. It was literally a girl who was a little bit butthurt. And it is what it is. I mean, I wasn't interested because looking back, like she talked way too much. I was just like, yeah, this is too much. But my point is, no other guy had that. And that's what I think comes down to bridging the gap, where you can be featured on this woman hating site. And if anyone's got like the worst job to be hated on, it's me. For women, like, this guy teaches other men how to get with women. I'm the easiest fucking target in the world to be hated on by women. Easily. Right? But to see, like, I think it was like 8 or 12, I don't know, some like big, like 8 or 9 women come to my defense in the comments was like, holy shit, this is what guys are missing, having that kind of support. But yeah, I mean, there's, I wouldn't say it's hate groups, but it sounds like from what you're telling me, no, we're doomed if we are good, we're doomed if we're bad, but there's no empathy. There's no like,
I will
hey,
say
he's
this, though.
trying.
Well, that, it's so funny because I actually ended up getting like almost banned from one of the groups because I got so angry, and actually I've really know, and I hate hate saying this because it's like you can make it work anywhere, but honestly, Miami, my God, or South Florida, the women here are like, and I lived in LA for 11 years, and it's so funny. People always say like people in LA are so fake. The girls are just after the money, da da da. And I'm like, have you been to Miami? Everyone, like, you, like, I felt so
I mean, this is
bad.
where I live, for those who don't know, I live in South Florida, Miami area.
They're so, like, the women here are, like, almost gross about it. I'm going to go and say, this might be controversial, but they're, like, gross about how much, like, they expect the man that they haven't even met yet to pay for them. Like, the amount, like, I get it. Okay, you're going out, sure, first date. But now it's, oh, he's taking you out to it better be a cabana. It better be a Michelin star. It better be like literally
This is the
in
only city in the
girl.
world. This is the only city I've ever been to in the world where you invite a girl to come on a yacht and she goes, well, hold on. How big first? How big?
Literally.
Like, what is happening?
And it's like, and it's like, listen, I'm not, I grew up in Palm Beach. Like, I get it. Like, I understand. I come, my dad's a neurologist. Like, I'm not, an outsider. But it makes me feel weird. I'm just like, yo, like, so you're prostitutes. Like, you just want money from men. Like, it really got me to a point where I was like, this is too much. Like, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I like being doted on. I like being courted, all that good shit. But like, I still want to be courted by a man that I still want to have a conversation with. You haven't even had a conversation with these men yet, and you're expecting all this. Like, that just tells, like, your value is, I don't know. To me, it's just so weird. So, the other day, I was in the chat group, and I ended up leaving because this poor girl was like, hey, I met this guy, like, is there any tea? He's gonna take me out, what was it? He's gonna take me out for like a picnic or something on a park, right? So many girls are just bashing. You're gonna let him take you out for a picnic? Like, what a fucking scrub, like, da-da-da, like, all these things, like, and then the girl's like, is this a red flag that he's taking me out for a picnic? And I was like, oh my, like, I was like, no, he probably just has more self-respect that he's not going to go take you out where all these other fucking girls are telling you, like, you should take him out on a yacht, on a this, on a that. It really grinds my gears, Jared. That's what I'm trying to say.
Here's my, now, maybe, am I sick? Be my therapist for a second, Jamie, because maybe I'm sick in the head for this, whatever. I'm fueled by it. I'm not going to say I like it. Liking it is not the right word. But I'm like almost like, here's what it is. Because I was born and raised here and I had to learn here, I attribute it to a lot of my success with women, because it's like, this is like the hardest place in the world to meet and attract women. Like it is understood, I think, even over the country, that the hardest dating scene is South Florida, right? And lo and behold, if you look at the best students in modern success, right, they're all in South Florida. But why? If the women are so awful and it's so hard here, what is going on? Why is that? I think that fire, going through that, it forces you to level up. It forced me to get better. And I think there's two types of guys. And, the first one are the passport bros. They're like, fuck this, I'm leaving. Which don't get me wrong, is like, that's.
Oh my God, I have so much to say about the passport bros. By the way,
I'm like the opposite of passport bro. I'm like because it is like, if you're like, hey, remember what we said earlier about like small towns? If you're in a spot, move, right? The dating scene sucks here so bad. Just move. Go to Georgia. Go to North Carolina. Go to Texas. Go to wherever.
As a guy, LA. I think is the best.
Go to Cali.
For guys.
San Diego. Easy in San Diego.
Yeah.
I was a god in San Diego. But here's what I say. I take sick pride in the fact that not only do I get success, I got success with women here in South Florida, I was able to find my dream girl, the kind of girl that people say don't, just like you said, like these girls don't exist, and every girl's a sugar baby and is just whatever. I was able to find a girl that's was a paid model, half my age, entrepreneurial mindset. She's now becoming a dating coach with me and helping me run, Monster's company, who loves to cook and clean, has a feminine side, who wants to stay. I push her to have a girls' night. I'm like, you need to go with the girls and have a girls' night out. And she goes, it's such bullshit. It's not even fun. It's just guys hitting on you. Why am I doing this? This is so stupid. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like, she's the one preaching the guy stuff. I'm like, this is so stupid. I don't want to. I'd rather just be in bed here with you, who's Jewish. For those who don't know, I'm Jewish, who's nerdier than me. She got me into anime. She got me into Naruto. Like what the fucking hell, right? And I was able to find that girl in South Florida. The girl checks all my boxes of what I want in a girl. And not only that, now we found a third. We found another girl that we're into. I'm not going to call my girlfriend, but a girl that we're dating. And she's open to it. And she's like, yeah, and she's into it as much as I am. Like, it's almost like I made this girl in a lab. Like, I take sick pride in the fact that I'm able to do that. Not find one, but now a second, and two amazing women in South. You met Roxy, on the last retreat, right? So it's right. So it's like, what the hell? And am I weird for taking pride of being able to do this shit where other guys are like, it's impossible, you can't do it, women suck, da 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 da. I'm like, hold my beer. It gets me off. I'm like, I want to prove it wrong. Back when everybody, the red pill was like, you got to be very rich and you got to be very good looking to get women. I think I had a sick pride. Jared, 10 years ago, I was fat as hell. I was obese. I was legit obese. And I was making like $2,000 a month. I was like broke as shit. And I'm hanging out, partying with models at the tables. And, and I'm getting off on it, being like, I'm fat and broke and still getting these girls just to prove you guys wrong. Like, I get off on it. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me or that's a unhealthy mentality, but I'm sick of these guys throwing in the towel. And I just like to prove it's wrong.
And also the way that you can get there is actually so easy. Like, it is actually easy. And this is now what you have to trade is your time and your effort. But as far as like, for me, doing calculus is much harder, right? So like, for example, what I'm talking about is, they've done studies where, okay, all these guys that are saying like, oh, you have to be good looking, you have to be rich, you have to be, whatever, tall. They're looking at attraction through a lens like how men see women, and that's how they're attracted. Men are attracted to women through physical appearance, something as simple as that. But statistics show that women are not attracted to men in the same capacity. They can't be because of evolution. So now it's the thing that attracts women is circumstance. How the man interacts with the environment and how the environment interacts with him.
Can you explain that way? So I want to make sure I'm following and our listeners are following. So men are attracted from the physicality, the visual, which
That's their first trait. It's not their only trait, but yeah,
because I
their
do want to
number one.
challenge that. I have my own theory on that, but my own personal experience, and
Well,
we'll get to that.
this comes from like Pew Research and a lot of other studies that have come out on short-term and long-term partnerships.
My shit's anecdotal. This is just me. I'll
Right,
be
right,
the
right.
first to admit that this is not backed by anything. But like, okay, so let me talk about this first. So, I also, like every teenage boy, very attracted to boobs. I still am. I love boobs. Right? Show me a
Yeah, your
big.
girlfriend's got some great ones.
She's got some mommy milkers. Right? Like I still am. Granted. Right? But being exposed and living in Miami and then living in Vegas and then living in California, I was constantly bombarded with really, really attractive women. Like just people's like real nines and tens, not like like the girls you see on Sports Illustrated. I'm like, they're just around me. Like I'm casually seeing them, talking to them, approaching them, hanging out with them, partying with them. And I'm just like, this became the norm. And then something interesting really happened. It was like the physicality. It almost like I became a girl. I started feeling attraction. I suspect the way a woman does, because yes, I want a girl to look good. Duh. Just like women, like I'm sure you want your boyfriend to look good. You're going to be attracted to a guy who you want him to look good, right? But
Correct.
it's like, but that by itself is just boring. Like,
Right.
can you do more for me? Like, as a girl, can you stimulate me? Can I have fun with you? Are you going to nerd out with me on shit? Are you passionate about stuff? Does our humor match? Can I talk to you, or is it like pulling teeth? Because once you're just a bimbo, I'm hot. That's like Louis C.K. Like, what is your main valuable trait? People want to fuck me. It's like, okay. And it actually got me saying no to beautiful, like really gorgeous women, because I started being like, I feel like a girl. Like I'm turned, like, this girl's gorgeous. Ew. And I feel like that's a very girl thing to feel versus what guys feel. And I think it's because most men never get to experience real abundance the way women do. And I think I don't know if it's biological or if it's behaviorally conditioned. When you have like as a young girl, Jamie, the moment you hit puberty and you had boobs and you had guys who were horny, you had options of dick flying at you left and right from puberty. And that has to have some play into it. That has to be conditioned where you're like, all right, do better. Give me more than just.
You know, I read this analogy. I think it was on Reddit, but it was like, dating for men, like dating is like water. Men are in the desert and women are in the swamp.
Okay.
Right? It's like we have to sit. So again, it becomes the same hard. Also, the other thing too is a lot of this. I mean, this kind of. I know you're not doing this, but like it kind of goes back to like who has it worse, men or women, right? The
Right.
age old fucking
They
And a
both have
lot
it
of men.
different. It's both hard. It's just different hard.
It's both hard because men always like say like, oh well, women have it harder. What women are you talking about? Women ages from 16 to 34? So every other women outside of that it doesn't count. You know what I mean? And then also attractive women, because ugly women don't even get fucking counted.
I will argue. Okay, I'm gonna make this statement. This might be controversial or whatever, but I'm curious if you
Let's get
agree.
controversial.
I have my own theory. This is gonna sound so bad, but whatever. Let's go for it. Watch. Now this is the clip that goes viral. No one has it easier in life than in a pretty woman, and no one.
I say attractive man, honestly.
No, I'll debate that all day. But a pretty woman, I believe, has the easiest life ever. But nothing is harder or worse than an ugly woman. I think men are in the middle, and then
Correct. I
that's
agree
the
with you
range.
there. But I guess, are you talking about dating or just like in life?
Just in life.
Oh, yeah, you might be right about that one.
Because here's the thing, right? You want like an attractive man, successful man, has the best life. An attractive, hot woman has everything that successful man has without having to do anything.
No, because beauty is a depreciating value.
That's fine.
Again, you're doing the thing where you're only counting women in their attractive years.
But that's what I said. An attractive woman has the easiest life.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, if
And
we're
then
talking
an
about
ugly woman.
I mean, money. Like this is where I actually think men have it successful whatever men have it easier, and the fact that money appreciates,
Right.
beauty depreciates. So in that scientific realm, you know what I'm saying? But I see what you're saying. So yes, I agree with you.
During the attractive phase, that is like I just saw a reel of like, follow me, girls. I'm a broke ass college student, and I went onto Vegas for a weekend, and I only spent $30, and they got our meals paid for, flight paid for, hotel paid for, club paid for, access to the tables, the bottles, the DJ booth, everything's paid for.
You know,
The carpets,
so then
it's just not the real world.
Sure. So okay. So here's the feminine perspective for me.
Sure.
I'm not. I don't. I might be an outlier in this, but actually, I don't know. I might not be. In this regard. Yes, I've had many opportunities for men to pay that would offer to pay things for me all the time, especially when I was in college or in my early 20s. Sure. But then it becomes, do I want to hang out with this guy? And so often, I like going back to like my environment, my energy, my aura. Like if I feel like I have to hang out with a guy that I have to put up with instead of want to be around, I will gladly pay for my $40, $30, whatever dinner, lunch. I'm good. You know what I mean? And because I'm so protective of like who I decide to like let my energy be around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Having said that though, I mean, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because I also look at these girls, I'm like, I would love a guy to pay to get my nails done. Like, I would love for a guy to, you know, once in a while pay for my hair. Like, that would be sick, you know? But then it's like the guys that are offering to do those things for me, I'm like, but I'd have to hang out with you? I'm good, dude. I'm good. You know what I mean? So then it becomes, okay, I'm just going to make my own money and then I have my options, but now I'm not feminine.
In South Florida, not even. There's so many girls who will use, you know, like seeking arrangements or whatever the case, where they get paid $500 just to go to dinner, or they'll just get a sugar daddy who they don't even hang out with, Jamie. They just talk to on the phone or FaceTime, and they'll wire the money. Like crazy shit. And
Yeah, but I feel like the reality of that, I think that when those things just happen to fall into someone's lap, I think is a rip. Where'd you go?
I disappeared. There we go. Yeah, someone would. All right. Anyway, so
I'm gonna try talking quieter because I realized I was probably making it peak the whole time. My parents have made me realize that I talk way too loud.
Same. I think that's just a coach trait. We're really loud talkers.
I'm very passionate. Also,
we
it's
can
because I don't have
ASMR podcast now.
I know, I'd be so bad. Like, hi guys, welcome to ASMR.
Yeah, we're not bred for that.
No, definitely not. What was I gonna say though about? Yeah, I mean, it would be sick. Okay. This is what I was gonna say. I think the rarity. I think. Oh, you just fucking left again.
No, but I hear you. I hear you, girl. Keep going.
So I think that the odds of a old rich man that just wants to have dinner once in a while and that will pay all your bills, that doesn't just fall into a girl's lap. I think the reality is that might happen to her after she's had to deal with a lot of other sketchy, skeezy, like, you know, weird dudes. Like, I feel like, you know, that's like a golden fucking ticket. I'm sure it's happened once in a while, but I don't know, because then it becomes now you're the OnlyFans girl.
Right.
As soon as you find out, like, oh, she's now I am what is that, the Scarlet Letter? That's a Scarlet Letter now. Might as well be an O and an F. You know, as soon as you have that mark, and that's why people.
I'm gonna keep disappearing from this because obviously the battery thing has not been done correctly. We're gonna have you back on. We're gonna talk more on this, but for those who want to learn more about you and to find the proper women out there, the right girls that aren't this type, where can they find you?
So you can find me, Jamie Date. That's JAM as in Mary, IE, Date. You can find me on all the socials. It's as easy as that. And yeah. And
I pretty much just watch the reels, learn, take the advice, and put in
watch
action.
the reels, message me, book a call, and I'm going to be speaking at the Mate Call Conference in Los Angeles, December 16th and 17th.
There we go.
And then also I am doing a psilocybin mushroom ceremony April, I believe it's 15th. It's the weekend before the 20th.
There you go.
In Mexico.
All right. If you're ready to trip some balls and make some love, hit up my girl Jamie.
And do some healing.
Hit up my girl Jamie. This is me speaking from the Black Nether Void, signing off. Take care, everybody.
Bye.